All right, so here's what we got going on today. I've got this Cub Cadet i1046 zero-turn lawn tractor. It's a 2007 model, and I've had it since 2008. I bought it brand new. It was kind of a last year's model thing at Tractor Supply, so I got a deal on it. Been a pretty good mower for the most part. I've had some issues with it in the past. The current issue that I have with it right now is very difficult time cranking the silly thing. It has the Kohler command. It's 20 horsepower, and it just doesn't want to crank. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. By the way, have I told y'all I hate pecan trees? See all of this shiny stuff here? It looks like this thing is wet. It is not wet. This is sap off of trees that are way up there that have been falling like rain for the past 3 or 4 days, and everything is sticky. The yard is sticky, the grass is sticky. You walk through the grass and the grass sticks to the bottom of your shoe because it's got so much sap on it, and it just keeps falling and falling. It's disgusting. I hate it, but I mean, what are you gonna do? These are very old trees. They're really big, so you know it's the only shade I've got, but it doesn't mean I have to like everything they do. But anyway, so let me show you what this thing is doing. So what I'd have to do is I would have to turn the motor until I got it to the top of the compression cycle, and then turn the key, and sometimes it would turn over and go ahead and crank. Still very slow, and then it would crank up. Well, this year it's not even doing that anymore, so I've resorted to having to turn the key and spin the motor at the same time to help it out. Couldn't figure out what was wrong. Kept thinking it was the battery was too weak, or maybe the engine had too much compression and the battery couldn't turn it over. Thought about buying a battery with more cranking amps. You know, trying to go through all these things in my head. Well, I finally found somebody who said that a common issue on these Kohler engines is that the starter will get weak, and it will cause that same issue that I'm showing you right here. And they said that a very common thing that people complain about is that the motor doesn't want to turn over, it doesn't want to crank. So I bought a new starter, and I'm going to change it out this morning and see if that doesn't do the trick. Look at this crap. Even my porch and my sidewalk, it looks wet. It's not wet, it's sticky. It's freaking irritating. Alright, so I broke out the garden hose and rinsed some of that crap off of there so I can at least stand to touch the silly thing. Got my chair ready to go. Gonna take this off. I was gonna put the phone on tripod while I did this, and I can't find the holder for my phone, so I'm not gonna be able to do it. But it looks pretty simple. Looks like I'm gonna have to take off a couple of bolts here, that power wire down there. Of course, safety first. I'm gonna disconnect the battery over yonder so I don't short anything out or whatever, and then I'll change this out, and fingers crossed we'll see if it works. So that's the starter I bought right there. Hopefully it's the right one. I bought it off of eBay. I looked on Cub Cadet's website, and this starter was like $211 on Cub Cadet's site. I found it on eBay for 50 bucks. So it says it's the right one. I'm just going to have to cross my fingers and hope it works out. Hopefully it's the right one, and we'll find out soon enough, I suppose. So first things first, y'all, I'm going to let you know I am not a small engine repair mechanic. I'm not a mechanic at all. I'm a paramedic. But you can learn anything on YouTube, right? So this is what I learned watching some videos on YouTube. I'm going to give it a shot and see how it goes. Hopefully it'll work. If not, then I've wasted 50 bucks instead of the 211 that Cub Cadet would have had me waste. But so let's find out. All right, so new starter is in. Have a feeling that this is probably gonna be what my issue was, because if you'll notice, that thing is stuck in the engaged position. will not go back down. It's just kind of there, you know. And that thing is supposed to spin up and down to engage and disengage whenever the motor's running. Apparently this thing, the starter has been staying engaged even when the motor is running, and it ain't supposed to do that. So I have a pretty good feeling it's going to fix the issue. So let's take just a quick little look and see what it does. All right, so if you'll remember from before, whenever I would start this thing, I would have to grab that top of that motor there and help spin it in order to get the silly thing to crank. So hopefully the addition of the new starter is going to fix that. Let's find out. All right, so here we go. Moment of truth. Keys on, choke is pulled. I would call that $50 well spent. Y'all take care.